What if I told you silence screams louder than rage? That walking away holds more power than any argument? That no contact isn't just some trendy breakup strategy. It's psychological warfare, a weapon crafted in pain and wielded with surgical precision? This isn't about mind games or petty revenge. This is about reclaiming your power, one brutal inch at a time. A man falls in love. He lays himself bare. Flaws, fears, loyalty. And then she vanishes. Maybe she ghosted. Maybe she fed you the classic, "It's not you, it's me." Maybe she claimed she needed space, but you knew the truth. She was done. The texts dry up. The late night calls end. All that remains? Silence. And that silence doesn't just echo. It consumes you. You obsess over every memory, questioning if she ever cared, doubting your worth. That's the trap. That's where most men shatter. But not you. Here's the reality. She never expected you to figure it out. No contact isn't passive. It's a psychological revolution, a war declaration, not against her, but against the weakness she exposed in you. It's the first step toward becoming a man who can't be rattled by absence or bribed with breadcrumbs. When you stop begging, stop orbiting her like a lost satellite, you stop bleeding energy. And when a man masters his energy, he masters everything. She expected tears. She expected confusion. She expected to remain the center of your universe. But silence? Silence is a vacuum, and nature abhors a vacuum. When you disappear, no drama, no fanfare, you create space. Space for her to wonder, to doubt, to regret. But here's the twist. This was never about her. This is about you. About becoming a man so grounded, so unshakable, so stoic, that nothing, especially not her, can break you. If you're done being an emotional punching bag, if you're ready to become untouchable, like, subscribe, turn on notifications. 1. Pain is the wake-up call. Rock bottom isn't a place, it's a moment. That night you're staring at the ceiling, phone in hand, praying for a text that'll never come. Her last words replaying like a broken record. The silence now deafening, louder than her presence ever was. That's not a nudge. It's a gut punch. The universe hurling a brick through your window, screaming, "Wake up! You lost yourself." Because you didn't just lose her. You lost the version of you who believed love meant limitless sacrifice. You handed over your energy, your peace, your identity, and she left anyway. That pain, the ache in your chest that steals your sleep, that's not weakness. It's truth. It's the delusion shattering. The lie that she'd return. The lie that love means begging. The lie that your worth depends on her choice. Most men fear pain. They drown it in distractions, rebounds, alcohol, endless scrolling. But pain isn't the enemy. It's the only blade sharp enough to cut through illusion. Pain strips you raw. It shows you exactly where you went soft, where you traded self-respect for approval, where you became a puppet on her strings. A stoic doesn't run from pain. He leans in. Every heartbreak, every sleepless night, fuel, fire. The forge where clarity is born. Strength isn't bred in comfort. It's forged in suffering. And right now, the old you, the one who chased, who begged, who lost himself, is dying. Let it burn. The man who rises from those ashes, that man is dangerous. No contact isn't just a tactic, it's a vow, a refusal to bleed for those who never deserved your blood. It starts with sitting in the pain, sober and awake, and whispering, I needed this. This is how it begins. Not with peace, with pain. Not with comfort, with clarity. If you're done making choices from weakness, if you're ready to take back control, comment below. I master my emotions. They don't master me. 2. Detachment isn't indifference. It's power. Detachment isn't coldness. It's control. It's not about not caring. It's about caring correctly. About reclaiming your energy from places that never refilled you. Most mistake detachment for numbness. Wrong. Detachment is surgical. The art of emotional precision. You still feel, but you don't react. You still love, but you don't dissolve into it. Master detachment, and you become unavailable to what sabotages your peace. She expected you to spiral, to flood her phone with desperate texts, angry calls, begging energy. She banked on the old you, the one who'd crawl to win her back. But when you go silent, not from bitterness, from discipline, that's when she feels the shift. That silence terrifies people because it's not empty, it's armed. And discipline? It's magnetic. Why? Because it screams, I don't need your validation. I am my own. Stoicism teaches this. External things, people, their feelings, their approval are beyond your control. And what you can't control should never control you. Detachment is cutting those puppet strings. It's saying, I see this, and I choose not to be ruled by it. You don't stop feeling. You stop bleeding. And when you detach, the power dynamic flips. She no longer knows where she stands. That uncertainty, that's what makes her pause. Now you're not chasing, you're choosing. And nothing is more powerful than a man who chooses peace over chaos, even when he still cares. You don't detach to hurt her. You detach to protect your mind, your focus, your evolution. Not every connection deserves a response. Not every emotion deserves action. The stiller you become, the louder your presence speaks. If you're done handing emotional access to those who haven't earned it, if you're ready to hold your frame with strength, comment below. My peace is my priority. 3. She's watching, even in silence. Just because she's not reaching out doesn't mean she's not looking. Never mistake silence for indifference. People observe far more in the shadows than they reveal in the light. She might not like your posts, might not text, but trust this. She's watching through stories, through friends, through fake accounts, through curiosity disguised as moving on. And the less you react, the louder your absence grows. Here's what most men miss. Silence breeds mystery. Mystery breeds pull. When you vanish, when you refuse to fold as predicted, you plant doubt in her mind. Did he really let go? Why isn't he fighting? Has he already moved on? These questions haunt harder than any text you could send. She'll hunt for signs, weakness, struggle, proof you still care. Give her none. Because silence isn't empty. It's armed. It's confidence, self-respect, a psychological mirror forcing her to face the reality she created. She won't admit it, but if you're leveling up while staying invisible, she notices, especially when her ego starves for your validation. In the digital age, no contact doesn't mean you're gone. It means you've become unreadable. And unreadable? That's power. If she wanted closure, she should have valued the connection while it lived. Now, you owe her nothing. Not a post, not a view, not a peek into your growth. Let her marinate in uncertainty. Let her wonder what you're becoming while she's stuck dissecting what went wrong. The less she sees, the more she thinks. And that mental real estate? That's reclaimed power. Now she's doing the one thing she never expected, obsessing in silence. If you're done being predictable, if you're ready to make your absence speak louder than words, comment below. I let my silence roar. 4. Rejection is redirection. Rejection feels like a knife to the ego. But what if it wasn't an ending? What if it was a violent, necessary detour? A redirect to a version of yourself you'd never have met if she stayed? When she left, it felt like failure, like you weren't enough. But what if the truth is she wasn't meant to stay? What if her walking away was the only way to jolt you out of a life where you settled? Stoics don't see rejection as loss. They see it as alignment. The universe removes what no longer serves you, even if you're still clinging to it. That's why it hurts. Not because she was the one, but because the illusion of her being the one shattered. And beneath illusions, reality. Cold, sharp, unfiltered. That's what stares back at you now. It's painful, but it's pure. Here's how you flip the script. Most men chase harder after rejection. They beg for second chances, trying to prove their worth. A Stoic, he steps back, recalibrates. He knows, if someone could walk away without hesitation, they were never aligned with his mission. They were a chapter, not the book. Rejection is feedback. The universe saying, not this path, not this person, accept that, and you free yourself to evolve, unshackled from emotional baggage. Because the truth, the version of you that needed her, that man wasn't built to lead, to dominate, to rise. He was still addicted to comfort, dependency, emotional survival. Now that he's gone, you've got space to build the man who doesn't just attract love, he commands respect. So yes, she rejected you, but all she really did was remove herself from a story she was never meant to finish. Now you write the ending. If you're done mistaking loss for failure, if you're ready to turn rejection into rocket fuel, comment below. Every ending builds a stronger beginning. 5. She expected your collapse. Let's be real. When she left, she expected you to crumble. That was her script. The breakdown, the begging, the late night texts, the mutual friends whispering, yeah, he's not handling it well. She assumed she'd keep control, even after walking away, because that's what most men do. They implode. But you didn't collapse. You calculated. And that's the moment the power shifted. She thought she was leaving the same man who needed her. Instead, she created the man who doesn't. That's the twist. While she waited for your downfall, you were building. Silently, ruthlessly. You weren't crying. You were cutting dead weight. You weren't pleading. You were planning. You weren't reacting. You were evolving. Now, you're not just unbothered. You're reborn. Because her exit wasn't your destruction. It was your launch. She gave you the gift of detachment, of disillusionment, of freedom. She unlocked the mindset where your worth no longer depends on being chosen. And that's a dangerous place for a man to operate from. When you stop chasing, you stop negotiating your value. And when you stop negotiating, you start commanding. Here's the psychological reality. When someone expects you to fall, and you rise instead, it destabilizes them. Why? Because it means they never had the grip on you they thought they did. It means you were never weak, just invested. Now that the investment's gone, So is the access. You're not cold, not bitter, just done. And that kind of emotional control, it can't be faked. It can only be forged in fire. So let her wonder. Let her sit with the silence she created. She expected to be the one who moved on while you stayed stuck. Now, you're proof that sometimes the one who leaves is the one who ends up lost. If you're done giving people the satisfaction of your breakdown, if you're ready to rise from what was meant to destroy you, comment below. I rise from rejection with precision.